Welcome to Timber&Terra. I'm Glenn. And the last time we were here, I was using my grapple for the first time out here. The field was really wet. I had spun there. I couldn't come up this way, even in four-wheel drive. It's still wet, but it's a lot drier than it was. I think maybe 3 weeks have passed. You can see here how this is dried up. But what I want to try to do now is use the grapple to rake as I started to do here. We'll see. It still may be a bit too wet. Obviously there's some little standing water puddles there. To rake this brush into a pile and then bring it over there into that field on the other side of the rock wall, which I knocked a hole in where the excavator is, and just sort of spread it out over there. That other field, which is basically from this rock wall to the tree line, is relatively small, and it's a place that I'm just going to let grow up into forest woods. Probably I'll control it on this side with some fir trees, just because it does impact the view of the mountains that I'll have from my future home up that way, our future home up that way, our retirement home. So we refer to this as our retirement field. Well, it's still pretty soft, much better than it was before. It did a pretty decent job. I mean, in this mud, I really can't expect to get up everything. But what's left, I think, will easily just absorb into the soil. Or when I bush hog it, it'll just, it'll chop it up that much more and just allow it to rot. Some of these other pieces I'll just throw off by hand. Particularly over here, because I will mow this. Over here to the side, I probably won't. The counterweight is nice, although to go through there I still needed four-wheel drive, even with the weight on the back. Visibility is my biggest issue as far as trying to manipulate what's in front of me, whether it's how far in the tines are or back dragging it. But this area I think is good enough. I have a bunch of material along the rock wall that I had cut last winter and let the tops fall into this field because the grass is all grown up around it. Mixed in there might be some firewood logs that I'll separate out. So let's dump this load and then work along the side of the field there. Well, it's basically doing what I wanted it to do. Pretty much cleaned up most of the big stuff. There's some pieces here and there. I mean, some of those pieces like that I'm not going to worry about. Some of the bigger pieces that, you know, might damage a regular mower, I'll probably pick up. So this field here, I've been mowing it with my bush hog the last several years to try to reclaim it. There was a lot of woody brush growing up. There were a lot of sort of bushy trees that I cut. The stumps are still there, but they're relatively low, but they're rotting. So I haven't offered it to the guy that cuts my field for hay because I don't want to ruin his equipment. I'm still not quite ready to be comfortable sort of giving him the field, particularly now with this big stuff here. But I'll pick this up. I'll probably bush hog this for a year or two more, and then have him look at it if he's interested. As far as use of this, I'm still learning. Both methods seem to work okay, whether I'm back dragging using the top tines. With this extended, that's a bit more risky with the tractor, because with these extended, and if this, which it does, hits a rock or a stump or something and pushes back this way, with these fully extended, that piston's going to be up here somewhere, and it could, if it pushes that way with enough force with me back dragging, then there's a chance I could bend the rod. So I would like to get better at using the bottom tines going forward, but we'll see. When I do use the top tines, I'm in float, so hopefully if it does catch some obstruction, then it'll just sort of bounce over it. I don't have it sort of forced down with the hydraulics locked. With it going forward, with it tipped like that, it seems to dig in a bit more. Several rocks that I hit, some stumps, some of the smaller stumps it'll just rip out. That's nice. And I also get a lot of sod when I do that. Like right there's a big hunk of sod. So when I was just pushing this windrow, it seemed to be pretty good with these tines relatively level. That would be ideal, but like I said, my visibility from the operator station is not the best, and it's very easy for me to get above it or to get down too low, and then basically would bring my tractor to a stop. So I'm still learning the techniques. If anyone has some better techniques or some advice on what I've done, I'd appreciate a comment or two. But I think that'll do it for now. I'm gonna leave these piles here because the place that I've been putting them, in fact, before we end, I'll show you the stuff that we've done, is getting a bit soft. That area is soft. I just don't want to ride in there anymore. But this area here in particular is, you can see the tines they dragged across the soil and dug up some soil here. But overall, I'm very pleased with it. It's doing exactly what I wanted, getting the largest of the woody debris. Here's a small stump. It looked like the top tines probably tried to grab it and then it bounced over it, would be my guess. But with this brush removed here, when I do brush hog, I can get just a little bit closer to the rock wall than I was able to get before, I think. So that's a plus. So this is the rock wall that I dug out the last video with the excavator. Pile of rocks. I tried to separate the bigger rocks there to the right, there's one on top, and then sort of the medium to smaller rocks over here to the left. I do have some uses for the rocks, actually a lot of uses. I have a lot more rocks than I have use for, but I haven't completely used, or I haven't completely filled the needs that I have on that road in the field. I have several uses for rocks that I haven't finished yet, so there's plenty of use for the rocks, but I do have a lot of rock walls. So here's the area where I've sort of dumped the brush, and this is just going to grow up. What I prefer to have grow up are these fir trees, balsam fir, same balsam fir that Christmas trees are made out of, at least the natural ones. A lot of the other saplings there are poplar, which I will cut down at some point. They grow really tall, they have a large canopy, and they prevent a lot of other more desirable trees from growing. Plus, like I mentioned earlier in the video, the house site will be up there, and those poplar trees really would inhibit that view. There are some trees here, the umbrella shape of the elm, the rest of those evergreens are balsam fir, and I think a couple ash over there are the more desirable trees. We've not yet been hit with the emerald ash borer. I don't know if we will. I'm guessing we will. Everyone says that if you haven't got it, you will. But in the meantime, I will still take care of the ash trees as long as they survive. Thanks a lot for tagging along with this video. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Bye.